Hi, everyone, and welcome to another round of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I am JB in the cage once again, setting it up for Citi Field, where Jacob deGrom will take your questions. He's the NL champion. He's a rookie of the year. He's at JDeGrom19. Jacob, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I know fans are fired up to be a part of the show, and fans, you know how this works. Push that green button, get in line on your mobile device, your laptop, whatever sort of technology you can get to. Be a part of the show right here in the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Meanwhile, I'll use the MLB Fans app, and I will use Twitter to keep the conversation going. Hashtag Chatting Cage on Twitter, or go right to the MLB Fans app. And I love this question right off the top from Carlo5V on the Fans app. Jacob, this is a hard-hitting question. Who wins a race, you or Bartolo?
I think if Bartolo actually ran, he'd be a lot faster than you think. I always said I want to see him run like if he's running from something scared, because I think he'd be a lot faster than what you really think.
There you have it, folks. That's what we want to do here in the Chatting Cage. This is stuff we need to know, and this is what we want to ask for. So use hashtag Chatting Cage, use the MLB Fans app, fire up your device, and join us here in the show. Get FaceTime with your favorite Met in Jacob deGrom. Jacob, I'm sure you get tons of questions about your hair. I know you were a hatter at one point, so that's where it all sort of started. But this one is from Rubes_Truly. Why is your sister the only person allowed to cut your hair?
I don't know if it's superstition or what, but I stopped cutting my hair because I feel like every time I cut it, I used to give up a bunch of runs. And then in the off season, my family all lives pretty close to each other, and my sister used to cut hair for a living, so that's who I used to go to. So I just let her continue to do it.
And there you go. It keeps in the family, keeps the superstition going, and that's how things happen. A little insight into the Grom family as well as we do that. This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Another fan joins us. What's your name? Where you're from? What's your question for Jacob?
Hey, my name's Ned. I'm from Connecticut. I live out in LA. Huge Mets fan. So my question is a situational one. It's Game 7 World Series, and you've got to give the ball to one of the Mets greats. Out of Tom Seaver, Doc Gooden, Yohan Santana, Jerry Koosman, or Ron Darling, who are you giving the ball to?
I'm giving the ball to Tom Seaver. I was actually looking at his career stats today, and very impressive. So that's who's getting the ball for me.
Pretty good list there, and Seaver's a pretty good answer. I like that you were actually looking through that to see some of the history there, those big successes in New York. Talking about successes, it's time for the EDJ question of the day. Jacob, and this is going back to your time as a Stetson hatter, you hit a homer off Chris Sale when you were at Stetson. Which current Mets pitcher would you most enjoy hitting a homer off right now?
I would most enjoy hitting a home run off Noah. I mean, he throws hard, and me and him like joke around a lot. So if I ever got to face him and hit a home run off of him, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think we can all agree with that. And plus, you get to say you hit a home run off Thor, which has a whole other element.
Yeah, that's true.
All those things are pretty great. That's Jacob deGrom. I'm JB. Fans join us here in the cage, just like this fan. Hey, bud, what's your name? Where you from? What's your question for Jacob?
Hi, I'm Hank Roberts. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And Jacob, I was wondering, what is it like to be on a rotation that includes not only the great Bartolo Colon, but also all those talented young pitchers?
It's a lot of fun. These guys are great to be around. We enjoy being at the ballpark every day and learning from each other. And I think the main thing that makes us good is how much we root for each other when we're not the ones pitching. We watch each other warm up, and when you're the one warming up and you see your teammates down there, and I don't really know why it started, but you see them down there, it really feels like they got your back and that they're rooting for you. So it's an honor to be a part of this rotation, and hopefully I'm here for many years to come.
I know New York fans are glad to hear that last sentence, but also happy to hear how a rotation that's that strong roots for each other on their starts. Always nice to hear the teamwork that goes on behind the scenes. Another fan joins us in the cage. What is your name? Where you're from? What's your question for Jacob?
My name is Chaba, and I'm from Florida, Fort Lauderdale. My question, my question for you is, which Mets hitter would you least like to hit off of?
Which Mets
Pitch off of.
hitter?
Pitch off of. Pitch to. Sorry, pitch to.
Oh, pitch to. Probably Cespedes. The guy's got a lot of power. You saw what he did last year whenever he came over to us, and you see what he's doing early on in this year. So he's definitely a tough out, and he wouldn't be very fun to pitch to.
Cespedes will be a tough out. Javi, I want to thank you for joining us and having the best giggle we've heard on the chatting cage, without a doubt. Glad to be there. With that, we got a lot going on. Jacob, I'm going to go back to social media. At NJ Mets fan 007 wants to know, after the increased workload last season, have you changed your prep this year?
No, I wouldn't say I changed my prep. You know, when you come into spring training, you try to come into spring training ready. I think you know, I took a little extra time off in the off season just because we went so late in the year. So I think that was the only adjustment that I had to make. You know, trying to get things going a little quicker in a shorter amount of time to get ready for spring training. But you know, my routine's still the same. You know, I'm still work on the same things in between starts. So all that preparation has stayed the same.
All right, there you have it, an insight to how 2015 affects 2016, the National League champion Mets, and Jacob deGrom taking your questions right here. We got a crowd ready to go. What's your names? Where you from? What's your question for Jacob?
Would you ever consider cutting your hair?
Would you ever consider cutting the hair, Jacob?
Oh, that's a tough question. I would like to cut it, but I don't know if I can. Like I said before, for some reason, every time I get a haircut, I seem to give up a bunch of runs. So it'd be hard for me to cut it. It'd have to be for a really good cause, and you know, I just at this time that opportunity hasn't come up.
By the way, those of you that caught that, Jacob's also fielding things from fans just tossed there into the middle of the show. Sort of a Samson's dilemma there for Jacob as he contends with the hair that has led to success. Now he doesn't know what to do with it. I want to thank the group of kids for coming on and asking such a great question. I go back to Twitter now as we continue the conversation here in the Edward Jones chatting cage. Chris Danig wants to know, how does the ballpark factor into how you pitch? I.e., do you pitch differently in different spots?
I think you do sometimes, but I think when you go out there, you have the same mindset. You know, my mindset when I take the mound is to try to get a lot of ground ball outs. You know, and if you do that, it kind of takes the ballpark dimensions out of, you know, kind of out of the equation. Whether, you know, it's a short right field or something, but the way I say it may affect you sometimes is, you know, if you give up a double with 2 outs and you got a big lefty coming up with a short porch in right field, then you may kind of pitch around that guy to get to the next right-hander or something. So in that way it may, but I think early in the game the goal's still the same, to, you know, throw strikes early and try to get ground balls.
There you go. So true. The infields are all pretty much the exact same, no matter what the dimensions are of the outfield wall. That's Jacob deGrom. I'm JB. Another fan joins us. Hey, fan, how you doing? What's your name? Where you from? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Matt from New York, and Jacob, I want to know if you will be the next Mets starting pitcher to hit a home run.
I hope so. I really do hope so. Take a lot of batting practice and try to hit homers there, so hopefully it'll transfer over to the game. But you know what Noah and Bartolo have done so far has been pretty impressive. Noah's game in LA hitting 2 home runs. You know, it's one of the most impressive things I've seen from a pitcher. So hopefully I'm the next one to join that.
It's certainly a great question there from Matt. So Matt, Ned, Hank, Javi, great questions from the fans as always. Jacob, you have a good time here in the chatting cage?
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun.
All right, there you have it, folks. That's Jacob deGrom from Citi Field. I'm JB. I want to thank you for being on this round, and we'll see you in the next one, the Edward Jones Chatting Cage.